All right, let's be real for a second. Do you ever feel like you're just throwing content out there, just hoping something, anything will stick? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. But today, we're going to change all that. We are moving away from guesswork and into a proven formula that builds real, actual confidence. So let's dive in. So this number, 5%, this is the reality for most creators. It's the chance of actually finding real success online. That's basically like playing the lottery, knowing that 95% of the tickets are losers. It's a really tough game to play. But what if I told you there's a way to rig that game completely in your favor? I mean, just imagine it. What if you could stop flipping that coin every time you post? What if you could create content knowing, with almost certainty, that it's going to work? That's what we're talking about today. We're building a system that gives you that unbreakable confidence. So how do we actually build this kind of confidence? Well, it's not about being the most creative person or just getting lucky. Nope. It's about having a system. Think of it like baking a cake, right? If you follow the recipe, you know you're gonna get a delicious cake. The exact same principle applies here. And just look at the difference in energy here. On the left, you've got guessing. That's the frustration zone. It's where you feel inconsistent, and honestly, it's just exhausting. But on the right, that's knowing. That's where you're riding a wave of momentum, all because you have a system you can count on. And this right here, this is the entire goal, to get so dialed in that success stops being a lucky accident and becomes a predictable outcome. That is where real, unshakable confidence comes from. Okay, so I don't want you to think this is all just theory. I've lived this, so I'm gonna pull back the curtain on one of my own TikTok accounts and show you the exact post, the one video that completely changed the game for me. I mean, just look at these numbers. It's insane. 1.7 million views from a single TikTok. That wasn't just a viral video. It was the video that built the entire account. Seriously, this one post brought in most of my followers, most of my likes. It's proof that one right move can change everything. So you're probably asking, okay, how'd you do it? Well, it was a 3-part plan. First, I broke the story down into parts like a mini-series to keep people coming back. Second, I went into absolute beast mode and posted a new part every 45 minutes for 2 straight days. Yeah, I didn't sleep. And third, when one part took off, I studied it like a hawk to figure out why. But here's where it gets really, really interesting. I tried to do the exact same thing again. Same format, same style, another horror story. And the result? A total flop. We're talking 4,500 views. This is the ultimate proof that it's not about one single trick. It's about the whole system and knowing exactly what your audience wants from you. And this brings us to a huge concept I call audience conditioning. See, my audience got used to one thing: animated horror stories. So when I tried to switch it up and post about affiliate marketing, they were just confused. Imagine your favorite pizza place suddenly only selling sushi. You'd be like, what's going on? That's what I did to my audience, and my reach just tanked. Okay, enough about my experiments. Let's look at how these rules apply to someone who is an absolute master at this stuff. We're gonna put a top marketer, Beverly Samuel, under the microscope and really deconstruct what makes her Instagram page so successful. Right off the bat, her profile is just a masterclass. But the most powerful part, look at this line: 6 figures from my phone. Boom. In just 5 words, she tells you what she does and what you could do too. That is crystal clear, benefit-driven positioning. It's perfect. Now, check out this hook from one of her best videos. Just $50 an hour. It's pure genius because it's not a crazy, unbelievable number. It's relatable. It feels achievable. And that makes you stop scrolling and think, wait a minute, I could do that. It's the perfect bait. And what's the payoff for that perfectly relatable hook? Bam, 17,000 likes. That is the power of understanding the psychology of your audience. A simple, believable promise leads to a massive result. And that's a formula you can absolutely use. This chart tells the whole story. Remember that audience conditioning thing? This is it in action. Look, when she posts about side hustles, the engagement is through the roof. But when she posts general motivational stuff, crickets. Her audience has been trained to want one specific thing from her. So let's just break down the psychology really quick. Putting text at the top of the screen grabs attention immediately. Framing income as an hourly rate feels way more real than a big weekly number. And here's a huge tip. Don't call people out. Instead of saying, but you keep scrolling, empower them. It's a small shift in tone that makes a world of difference. Okay, we have analyzed the data, we've looked at the pros. Now, it is your turn to take action. I have a challenge for you, something you can start literally right now, and I promise it's going to change how you think about creating content forever. So, here is your mission. I want you to go on Instagram and find 3 of your top competitors. You're going to become a content detective, analyze their winning posts. What hooks are they using? What formats? What styles? And then, you're going to steal their secrets like an artist. Now, this is the key. You're not just trying to be a copycat here. Your job is to find that perfect sweet spot between what's proven to work in your niche and what you are actually comfortable creating over and over again. Because if you hate doing it, you're going to burn out. That's the secret to sustainability. So let this be your new mantra. Study what's already working. See the patterns. Then pick a style that you can repeat. That is how you stop gambling with that 5% chance and start creating with near 100% confidence. So, I'm going to leave you with this question. After you do your research, what is the #1 pattern you see that you can start testing today? Is it a new hook, a different video style? Whatever it is, I want you to go find it and try it. That's how you'll discover your own winning formula.
They keep telling you, stay motivated. Watch this. Listen to that. Get inspired. But what happens when the video ends? When the music fades? When nobody's clapping, watching, or waiting for you to win? What moves you then? I used to run on borrowed energy, quotes, speeches, people hyping me. Felt unstoppable for a moment, then I'd crash. Like it was never in me. That's the problem with external fuel. You burn quick, don't last, don't rule. You dependent on a source outside, so when it disappears, so do you. I was chasing feelings, not building fire. Waiting to feel ready instead of climbing higher. But readiness ain't a mood you catch, it's a discipline you wire. So I had to ask myself something different. If nobody ever told me keep going, would I answer that honestly? I realized purpose don't scream, it whispers. It ain't in the crowd, it's found in the mirror. It ain't an applause or validation checks. It's in what you do when there's nothing to flex. Motivation temporary, purpose permanent. One phase away, the other's inherent. You don't wake up feeling it every day, but purpose don't care how you feel anyway. It moves through you even when you're tired, even when life feel misaligned and wired. It's that quiet push you can't explain. I say do it again through the doubt and pain. So I stopped asking how do I feel and started asking what's real, what's mine to build, what's mine to create. That's when I found something stronger than fate. I don't need a reason, I am the reason. I am the reason. I don't need the feeling, I don't need the feeling. I move with meaning. No more waiting, no more waiting, no more chasing, no more chasing. Internal driver, that's what's leading. Yeah. Now I move like it's already decided. No hesitation, no need to be guided. I built a system inside of my soul that don't break down when I'm losing control. External noise don't shake my direction. I learned to operate without the connection. Not disconnected but self-sustained. Energy internal, never drained. I don't need hype, I don't need cheers. I done built this through blood, sweat, tears. Every rep carved into my frame. Now discipline calling me by name. This is what it looked like when purpose drive. You ain't just working, you feel alive. Even in struggle there's something deeper. You not just moving, you moving with meaning. Listen close. Purpose don't shout, it pulls. It don't beg, it demands. And once you feel it, you can't go back. There's gonna be days you don't feel like it. Do it anyway. There's gonna be days you question everything, keep going anyway. Because the ones who make it ain't the most motivated, they the most committed to something deeper than motivation. That's what's leading. When the world go quiet, when the noise disappear, when nobody's watching, that's when you find out if you really got it, or if you was just borrowing it.
I spent years talking to people who never wanted what I wanted, and for a long time, I thought I was the problem. I spent years talking to people who never wanted what I wanted, and for a long time, I thought I was the problem. Back when I first got started in network marketing, I was taught the traditional way. Call your friends, call your family, make a list, do three-way calls, invite people to meetings. The problem? Most of the people around me weren't entrepreneurs. They weren't interested in building a business. They weren't interested in personal development. And they definitely weren't interested in hearing about compensation plans. So I did what I was taught. I called people. I talked to relatives. I approached strangers. I even tried talking to people in stores. As an introvert, that was uncomfortable as hell. Every rejection felt personal. Every no felt like proof that maybe I wasn't cut out for this. Meanwhile, I watched other people succeed. Pastors, ministers, natural extroverts, people who could walk into a room and have everyone listening within minutes. I started comparing myself to them, and that's where I made my biggest mistake. I thought success belonged to people who were different than me. Years later, I realized something. The problem wasn't that I couldn't build a business. The problem was that I was trying to build it using somebody else's personality. Once I discovered affiliate marketing, content creation, and online communities, everything changed. I stopped trying to become an extrovert. I stopped trying to force conversations. I stopped trying to fit into someone else's system. And I started building around my strengths. That's the lesson I wish I could give every beginner. You don't have to become somebody else to succeed. You just have to find a vehicle that allows you to become more of who you already are. The moment I learned that, everything started making a lot more sense. Have you ever felt like you were trying to succeed using someone else's blueprint? Let me know below.
I give you food for action, don't choke on the truth. This lesson I prepared was made just for you. Feast up, I'll keep serving till the pot run dry. Got enough cooking to feed the whole country, no lie. Too many flavors, you know, I got what you like. Don't start beefing with me, you won't win this fight. If you come in peace, keep your teeth intact. I got a plan to get this cake, come grab a stack. Life could be sweet, if you listen, you'll see. Food for action on a platter, served fresh by me. I'm serving knowledge on plates, got the recipe down. A blend of hustle and wisdom, that's my sound. I'm feeding the masses, no crumbs, full course. But if you bring nothing to the table, find the door. Stop acting like you got beef, it won't taste right. This flavor's reserved for those ready.
Okay, family, we are live. We are live. And once again, I want to welcome you guys back to another episode of the Hustlers 10-Minute a Day Challenge. Today is Strong 52, day 4, and we are right at 15 minutes into today's challenge. So let's start out by asking that question. Did you take action? Did you start taking action on today, which is Action Taken Thursday, right? So let's peel the curtain back. And I want you to honestly answer that question. So, as we expose the most valuable document in all of online marketing, the link to this document is in the description of this video. So, it's been there. It's been there in previous lives. It's been there for the longest, right? You always have access to it. So, that question, one more time. Have you already taken action? Have you opened up this document and during the intro, you started to consume the information, you're listening to the information, you're hearing the value, the most valuable information that you'll hear online. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. I'm feeling more positive and confident in what I have to offer day by day, week by week, especially when I'm taking part in various conversations, various mastermind meetings, and I hear people who are having the same continuous issues. For whatever reason, the message is not getting through to them in those particular mastermind settings. And then when I hear my business partners talk and try to explain to people what they actually need to be doing, how they really need to be looking at things, I say to myself, well, I've been trying to explain to them the same exact thing consistently for 52 strong weeks. So that gives me a sense of confidence. It doesn't make me, angry or upset or anything like that because I realize that human nature is human nature. Even if you're the best in the world at what you do, even if you've made millions and millions doing what it is that you do, and even if you've spent years of your life trying to educate people, trying to show them the right way to do things, it's still going to be, that ever-present issue of people not really understanding, people not really catching on to what it is that you're trying to tell them. It makes me think of that song, Starry, Starry Night, that Van Gogh inspired song, where he said they didn't understand you, but maybe they never will. And sometimes I feel like that. And I think to myself, am I too complicated? Is it too hard to understand me personally? And then I say to myself, no, it can't be. Because I've listened in on various meetings and webinars and, you know, other mindset trainings, and I've heard people speak with more complication in more complicated terms than I've spoken. And I feel like I try to keep things pretty simple. Now, my simple might not be everybody else's simple. And I realize that also. I realize that I can put something in a way that sounds completely understandable to me, but then I'll still have people look at me and say, well, what does that mean? And that confuses me sometimes because I feel like I'm being perfectly clear. So when I'm in a mastermind and I hear people asking questions that, I've asked myself years ago, and I've been able to answer those questions and I've been able to crack the code somewhat as to what the answer to that particular question is. I say to myself, I'm not too much different from the other leaders, coaches, mentors. It might be a income disparity. Some of these people might be multimillionaires, make tens of millions of dollars a year. But I listen and I hear similar mindsets. I hear similar ways of looking at things. I hear them trying to explain something that as I'm listening, it's clicking for me, or it's something that's already clicked for me, and I'm just waiting for everybody else to kind of catch on. And let's just be real. I'm just going to jump right into it. I was on a mastermind meeting yesterday, and some things were asked in that mastermind meeting that normally I would just be like a fly on the wall. I would just sit and listen. And I'll, gauge what it is that people are asking because that's part of the journey. That's part of the learning journey and developing yourself as a leader. Sometimes it's not always about, you know, jumping in, asking questions. Sometimes it's about listening to the questions that are being asked and listening to how someone else actually answers those questions. So I'm listening, and sometimes I get a little excited about things when I hear someone speaking my language. Now, my business partner, Mr. Wayne Crow, he often speaks my language. He speaks it in a way that I often speak it. So I recognize the sound of his voice because I guess you would say I'm his target audience in a way. And he's my target audience also in a way. People that you want to work with and build with, they need to be your target audience, meaning they have to be in sync with you. They have to be able to link with you. It's kind of like what I said in the previous live about, coming from certain places, being part of certain cultures, knowing what it is and what it isn't, just by simple gestures, by simply looking at the way a person stands, how a person is standing. That could be a dead giveaway in certain situations as to what's going on or what's about to go on. Being in a situation where you see somebody that, you know, speaks your language and they're across the room and something's about to pop off in the room, you catch eye contact with them, they catch eye contact with you, they give you that head nod, they give you that gesture, and you already know that they know what's going on. So you both follow suit. Either you both going to get up out of there before it really starts to pop off, or you're not going to get out of there. You're going to take other actions. So knowing your target audience, being aware of, the gestures, the slight gestures. It could be as simple as, once again, the way a person stands. But when you're online and you're building an online business, you don't get to see a person physically like that. So you have to find other ways to connect with people and be able to identify with them. So just like in that beginning training, it talked about content creation, finding out what it is that you're good at so that you can, you know, split test it in various ways to see what parts of what you're conveying really works, what parts are actually translating to your customer. They might recognize the slight thing that you do, and it might not be anything special to you, but it might be something special to them. It could be the way that you say your words. It could be the fact that maybe you have a certain type of accent, and that accent reminds you or reminds them of something. When I look at my analytics, a lot of times on social media, I don't go viral, but a lot of times when I look at the indicators, it tells me that a good majority or the most of my views come from, of course, the United States. But then when it breaks it down state by state, it'll say the majority comes from New York. Now, I'm from New York. So a lot of people say, hey, even though I've been here in Virginia for the last 20 plus years, I still have my New York accent. I still sound like a New Yorker. I still walk like a New Yorker. I still have my New York gestures and everything like that. So if you see me, you might be able to recognize, okay, He might not, I don't know if he's from around here. He might be from New York. That right there might be enough alone to attract the specific target audience. The fact that I wear a fitted hat, that right there might be enough to attract a certain target audience. The fact that my hat says hustle on it, that right there might be enough alone to attract a certain target audience. Now, all of these things may be enough to attract certain audiences, and it also might be enough to repel certain target audiences. So when it comes to content creation, everything is something that you have to take into context. You have to look at it, break it down, and become analytical. You have to really dive into your business. Now, in that meeting, I found that the questions were pretty good. It wasn't that I hated the questions. It wasn't anything like that because I appreciated the questions that came up. And it excited me so much that, like I said, normally I sit like a fly on the wall and I listen and I learn, but I had to start posting stuff in the comment section. Sometimes you get to the point where, you feel like enough's enough. You get to that stage where, you've had enough, so to speak, and you're like, yo, I gotta say something. And I got to the point where I had to say something. We was talking about target audiences and what it is to really build the online business. So I want to ask you guys this question. Are you more attracted to the idea of making money, or are you more attracted to the particular product or service that you would actually be promoting? Or are you more attracted to the presenter, the person that's actually telling you about the product or service and telling you about the potential in this particular opportunity? Because that's three different situations, and that's three different ways of looking at your online business. Now, the majority of people fail because they focus on the first part. They focus on the idea of how much they could actually earn in a particular business. Yes, that's important. The goal of a business is to make money, but it's not the most important aspect when it comes to you deciding on what business to actually be part of. That's not important because sometimes the the smallest commission opportunity, the ones that might pay you 5% commission, things like that. Sometimes those opportunities may be more profitable for you than an opportunity that pays 50, 75, 100% commission. And there's specific reasons for that because there's other factors that goes into building a profitable business. It's not always about the product. So if you look at the product and you say, hey, I love that particular product, and that product, man, I can't see how anybody wouldn't want that product. Yes, the product is important. The service is important. But once again, it's not it's not the most important thing, right? Because there's various products on the market, there's various qualities of products. But is it only the high end products or the high quality or let's say the luxury vehicles that sell the most, that are the most profitable? No, not necessarily. It could be some of the lowest cost vehicles that, sell the most or are the most profitable. It's the ones that are marketed the best, the ones that people have, had certain experiences with and are most relatable. Like I think about back in the day, the Honda Civic, that was a, and that still is a very popular car. But it was a popular car for various reasons. Back where I'm from, a lot of people rode around in them Hondas when they were doing things that they shouldn't be doing. So it became a vehicle well known in the hood for, you know, if you're doing this or that, or if you're part of a certain demographic, you know, you go out and buy a Honda Civic, and those were known to be able to get you through certain situations. So it became a popular vehicle, not because it was the most expensive, but it became popular because of what it kind of represented to a certain group of people, to a certain neighborhoods. Everybody, had their own thing. You think about movies like Paid in Full, so that like the Benz, BMWs, you know, the square body vehicle, that's like iconic. That's an iconic vehicle. It might not be the newest Mercedes Benz, which people love them, but if you know, are from a certain place, from a certain time, you might respect that square body a little bit more. And that's more popular to you because of what it represents. So your content has to be the same. Your content needs to be the same. Now, one thing that I want to, pivot over to before I get too deep into the weeds, as they say, I want to pull up that new tab section, and hopefully it looks like it did. It looks like it refreshed on me. But let me see what we have. And I don't think I pulled up the particular article to keep hold of it. So let's see what we got. And if it's not here, it's okay, because the gist of it is something that I can actually explain to you guys. Man, Soldier Boy. Now, if you have to be part of a certain culture, you have to be part of a certain community, a certain time to, even, how to, I got this smile on my face, I see Soldier Boy right there. You might not even know who this is. You might not be my target audience, but that's a whole nother case, right? But for people that know, they know. And it makes me smile and it makes me laugh because looking at this headline right here, this is powerful. This is how, when things relate once again. It says Soldier Boy launches rapper university after streamer U snub. Now, this is interesting to me and powerful for me for a couple of different reasons. And let me see, who is this right here? As I scroll, I'm looking and I'm seeing the top of this person right here's face that's right here over my head, right? I just happen to look down and see, and this is another recognizable, iconic, music artist. He's older, but I recognized the top portion of his face right here. I'm right here in front of him, but that caught my eye just now because I knew instantly who it was. Vanilla Ice. I'm not sure how many people don't know or haven't heard of Vanilla Ice, but if you've been on this planet in the United States for 30, 40 years now, you should at least know who Vanilla Ice is. But that right there distracted me because I just happened to see him right there in that picture, and I knew it was a news story, and I'm like, okay, that just caught me. But back to this. It all ties in. Let's scroll back. Let's scroll back. Let's get back to that Soldier Boy. So this right here is interesting to me, and it might be interesting to a certain group of people for various reasons. So it says that the rapper, He launches Rapper University. And this right here is powerful because if you know who Soulja Boy is, he's not only a music artist, a popular music artist that's been around for years, but he's also known as the type of person who is quoted or noted as being the first to do so many things. Now he's made himself a name off of being the first person. I gotta laugh. It's funny. He's made a name off of for himself off of being the first person to basically do everything. He was Adam before, he was Adam, basically. He was the first person to be born, so to speak. So anybody that knows who Soldier Boy is, you know that he's the first person to do just about everything on this planet, according to him. He's the first person to go viral on social media. He was the first um streamer. He was the first to do this, that, and the third. And a lot of these things is, funny when he says it, but on the other hand, it's not funny because Soldier Boy can back up a lot of the claims that he makes. He really is the first to do a lot of things. So we can't take that away from Soldier Boy. He really is he really is that good at what he does. So we can't take anything away from Soldier Boy. But to see this right here, he launches Rapper University. It's, you know, this is a scroll stopper for me and probably and millions of other people because I want to see and I want to hear an interview with him talking about this because I know more than likely he's going to say something like he's the first rapper to ever start a university. And we'll have to fact check him on that to see if that's the case. But he might he might possibly be. And this is very interesting. So, but this isn't even what I wanted to talk to you guys about, but it's very powerful. And this is something that ties into what we're talking about when it comes to content creation and having that recognizable thing about you. Soldier Boy has the glasses. Soldier Boy has the tattoos. He has the chains. He has the attire. Soldier Boy has just about everything that you can imagine. He has his own sneaker line. He has his own clothing. He has his own video games, consoles. Soldier Boy has started so many things and businesses. He's what you would call a real hustler. So definitely we salute him. A lot of times, people try to make jokes and, memes and stuff like that. But once again, the facts are the facts. He stood the test of time. He's still out here and obviously he's making things happen. And this right here is a piece of content that, I gotta click on it. I gotta click on it. We ain't gonna dive into it, but I gotta look into it after this live stream to see what's going on with Soldier. But I'm pretty sure that what I was actually looking for is not here anymore. But what it was basically about was something that we've been talking about for, a few weeks. And that has been Gen Z. So Gen Z is a generation that's going through a lot of, challenges nowadays. They're coming into the world, into the workforce. They're coming out of colleges. And look, I knew if I would scroll enough, I would see something related to Gen Z. Gen Z stories aren't as rampant as AI stories, but it's pretty much sure to see a Gen Z story appear because they are a big topic of discussion. And this is valuable. This right here is valuable because when we talk about content, we have to talk about target audiences. And we talk about target audiences, Gen Z is a big target audience. So this is what I want to do. I want to just do something a little bit just so we can get a better idea. And I want you to have something that you can take action on this action taken Thursday, right? And once again, I always tell you that this is the most valuable, the best live that you can ever see on social media. And I believe that because we give you so many different aspects of online marketing, life perspective, mindset shifts. And now we want to go a little bit deeper. We want to give you something that you can actually use and that you can actually take advantage of. And this right here is free. So I'm just going to say I just pulled up Copilot. And as I stated before, Copilot is an amazing tool. I use it, you know, I use it a lot because it really is helpful. It allows you to do live searches. So unlike, let's say Chat GPT or um, Claude, Copilot, it searches the web, you know, instantly. It searches for a lot of factual information and a lot of the articles, a lot of the, posts and stuff that you'll see, it'll say, curated by Copilot. So Copilot is looking for factual information so that it can actually share. So I'm going to say something to Copilot because we want to be able to identify what type of content we should be creating, but we have to reverse engineer it. Like I talked about in the live a few days ago. You need to check out this week's lives, most valuable lives that you will ever see. We talked about reverse engineering. So let's talk about Gen Z. So I want to know, okay, um, let's prep our AI right now so that it knows who we are, who it is, and what we need. I am a full-time online marketer, and I am looking to attract Gen Z as my target audience. I want you to act as an expert in the field of online marketing, specifically Gen Z related culture and I want you to give me all the most important information about what they like, specifically when it comes to content they are consuming. Now, think I want to tweak a little bit of this. I put that I am a full-time online marketer, but I wasn't specific enough about, what I'm an online marketer for. Okay, an online marketer is somebody that, hey, they market products and services. My products and services could be anything, but we focus on make money from home, right? How to help people make money from home. So I am a full-time online marketer that specializes helping people learn ways to make money online. All right. So it knows what I do. So it's not going to give me information back on people that might want to be market fashion and stuff like that, but it might. Because if it says that this is the type of content that they consume, but it's going to be more so related to make money online. What are they looking at? What are they more interested in when it comes to consuming content that might be related that will help me in my particular practice, right? So let's leave the prompt like it is, right? So this right here is, a mini paragraph. That's one of the problems that a lot of people online have. They make such small effort. They put so much little effort into what it is they do. They create content and they might just reshare somebody else's post, and they think that that's doing something. It's not. It's resharing somebody else's post. They might put up a simple quote, but that might be helpful depending on how you position it. But they might also use AI tools and they're asking generic questions and they're getting back generic answers, and they're actually, applying what it is, the information that they're giving back. So there's nothing wrong with that. You have to apply the information that you're getting. But if you're getting back information that doesn't apply to your situation, then you're not going to get the desired results that you want, right? So let's hit that enter button and let's see what Copilot gives us based off of what we have. So look at it. Here's the distilled, no fluff, high impact breakdown of what Gen Z actually consumes, craves, and responds to, backed by current research and perfect for you as an online marketer targeting them. Okay. So it's telling me it understood what I was talking about, what I was asking it. It's kind of like, yo, you've ever had a conversation with somebody and you say something and you think once again that you're being perfectly clear and they looking at you like a deer in the headlight. And some people, they might even say, yeah, I understand. And you looking at them and for a fact, now I don't think you get it. Are you sure? Some of us, we might actually say, hey, are you sure? Some of us might just let it slide and be like, okay, if you say so, I'm not going to press you on it. And that's what happens a lot of times in these inner circles, in these inner rooms. A lot of people, they attend meetings and trainings and they hear the same information over and over and over again. And they make comments like, yes, the person next to them respond, hey, if you know what I'm talking about, say yes. If you're understanding this, put a one in the chat, put a this, that, and the third in the comment section. And they'll respond, they'll put that there. But in actuality, in honesty, they have no idea what's going on. Some people actually think that they actually understand what it is that they heard. They'll say yes, thinking that, okay, yeah, I got it. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. And I can say that because Once when we get into the meetings and we start having the conversations about what it is that was actually explained in the training, and you respond back to me with something that was already explained, and you're like, well, I didn't know that, or I didn't see it that way, or this is the first time I've ever heard that. And I'm like, no, it's not. You've heard that over and over and over in the trainings, in the meetings, but maybe it's something you just didn't pick up on. I might have seen you comment and say, yeah, I understand, but in actuality, you didn't. That's a big problem. That's a big issue. But let's get to it. Let's get to the information, right? So it says the Gen Z content blueprint 2024 through 2026 data. That's good. It gives us a little time span, it did its little research, give us a little time frame of what they've been doing for the last 2 years. So Gen Z lives on social, and it's their number one search engine. Okay. So right off top, just in point one right there, that's valuable. So of course, before, Google was always known as the number one search engine. So people would just go instantly to Google to find out something. But it's saying here that social, and when they say social, they don't mean Google. Google is a social platform if you use it that way. You know, this right here is a social platform. If you look at it like that, this is a feed. It just happens to be a new tab section. It just happens that it's not a Facebook, it's not an Instagram, it's not anything like that, but it has information, it has posts. This is a feed. This is social information, but it's not coming from regular everyday individuals. It's coming from companies, right? So that's the difference. So it says Gen Z now uses social media as their primary search tool, even more than Google. Okay. They expect brands to show up everywhere: customer service, discovery, community, entertainment, and commerce. All right. And look, it even cites a source, Sprout Social. Look, so it's giving you information from credible sources, right? Says they don't ask what platform should I use. They ask, how does this platform fit into my life? Okay, that's valuable right there, because now you have to think about it. If we're targeting Gen Z, and we know that they're not asking what platform should I use, but they're asking, how does this platform fit into my life? I want you to think about the Gen Z people in your life. Where are they? A lot of people said that back in the beginning of, the Facebook days, it was a lot younger people on there. People wanted to be social with their friends and their family and stuff like that. But then as time went on, people started to, you know, they want to be social, but once when they start getting into the social game, they don't want certain people to see what they're doing. So a lot of the young people, it was like, okay, I used to want my family to be all up in my business, to be connected with them, but now, times has changed. There's a lot more different type of content out there. There's a lot more, you know, things that I don't necessarily want people to see that I'm actually consuming. So now the demographics of certain social media sites have changed. So they said Facebook now, the age range has started to go up. It's not so much now for the younger people, it's for more of the middle age to older people. And the people that kind of grew with it over the years, they stick and stay. The people that are real die hardcore fans of it. So they're no longer the Gen Z of yesterday. They're you know, the new age, older demographic on there that decided to stay. Whereas the Gen Z folks, they might say, hey, well, Facebook isn't the place for me really. I'm more so, I'm an Instagram type person. And Instagram has its own type of algorithm. It has its own thing about it. And, there's been certain sayings and stuff, Instagram famous, Instagram models and stuff like that. So people have coined certain terms around various social media platforms. And that's been attractive to certain target audiences, right? So Facebook, for example, might not fit into the life of a Gen Z person or your target Gen Z person. So you have to consider all of this. All right. So now, two, their core platforms ranked by purpose. This right here, this is valuable. This is valuable. TikTok, number one for product discovery and entertainment. So this right here is very valuable. Once again, but it goes back to you and the question that I asked earlier. Are you more attracted to the opportunity of making money online, or are you more attracted to the actual product and service that you're purchasing? The real product and service, the real tools, or are you more attracted to the person, the influencer that's sharing the information? See, now you have to decide, okay, if I'm more interested in the product, and I can also combine that with being that type of influencer, that type of person that uses the product, that actually uses the product, right? That actually uses the service, and that's actually willing to share what they know on TikTok and show the product, because this is where Gen Z people are at, looking for product discovery and entertainment. Are you willing to be entertaining? Then maybe TikTok is for you. And this goes back to yesterday's mastermind training. One of the key things that was talked about, something that we've spoken about plenty of times before, the distinction between, are you a consumer or a producer? And that was something that was kind of drilled into the people in yesterday's meeting, because a lot of people, they don't know who they are. One person was asked, hey, based off of what I see on your account, what do you think I think you are? Do I think you're a producer or a consumer? And that person, seeing as though, everybody in the mastermind, they want to consider themselves to be a producer, because the purpose is that, hey, producers are the ones that's out there trying to make money, trying to build businesses. So they saw themselves, or they see themselves as being a producer, but they might not be doing producer activities, and they still might consider themselves to be a producer. So when that question was asked to that individual, they said, "Oh, I'm a producer." And my business partner responded back. He said, "Well, me looking at it, I would say you're a consumer." And that person was surprised to hear that. And I wasn't. I wasn't surprised, because I'm looking at it myself and I'm saying to myself, "You're a consumer." It's clear. And the reason why it's clear is because you're producing content that's similar to what a consumer produces. I don't see you. You're not talking. You're not doing videos. You're not promoting a product or service. You're not positioning yourself as a leader, somebody that's, an authority. You're playing it safe, which, hey, most people play it safe. That's a whole target audience. How do you get people to stop playing it safe? How do you get people to get out of that habit of feeling like they're actually doing something, but they're not? They're putting in a whole lot of work, but it's not the work of a producer. They're doing the work of a consumer, and that translates to who could possibly be their target audience. That translates to them as, hey, this person is just, a consumer like me. And they're presenting me with just content to consume, not content designed to produce a result from me, not designed to get me to take action towards them, but just designed for me to take action towards that consumerized product. A like, comment under the post. Most content creators produce content that only demands engagement as deep as a like or a comment, but it doesn't result in any further action that results in being able to build a profitable business. So that's a whole situation there. So it says here, the favorite place to discover new products, is TikTok. Short form video is king. So are you making long form video or short form video? And as we just stated, most of you aren't creating any videos at all. You're creating posts. You're creating, pictures. Or if you're creating or posting videos, it's not videos of you. It's other people's content. It's funny things just to get engagement. And then it says authentic, unpolished content wins. Okay, this right here, this live that we do on a daily basis, this would be something considered to be authentic, unpolished content. See, there's no heavy editing going on here. There's no fast-paced movements. I'm not chopping it up, there's no um, quick motions, cut scenes, or anything like that. This is authentic and unpolished. This is what you do when you're a real content creator, when you're somebody that, has done some things, has experienced some things, and that's really positioned themselves in a position of authority. See, whether you watch or not, that's, hey, that's up to you. If you choose to follow, to want to partner with me, that's up to you. But the fact is the fact that, I am who I say I am. But if you're not attracted to what's real and you're attracted to the flash or the idea of how much money you can make, I don't speak that language. I don't speak that language to my audience. And I'm not going to lead you down a road to believe that everything is all good. You're going to be this successful financially and all this, that, and the third. I'm not going to sell you that BS dream. So of course you might not be attracted to me because of that, because I'm not filling your head with fluff. But that's how it goes. Now, I'm not going to change. I'm not going to be fake and just to suit you because you want to live in a fake type of world where somebody's just selling you dreams and you buying it up week by week. You're not only buying it up, but you think that you're actually doing something to actually achieve those goals with what you're actually doing, right? It's not happening. So it says here, Instagram, aesthetic plus reels plus community. Okay, 80 to 91% of Gen Z uses IG. Okay. See, now I'm not in the Gen Z age group, right? So Instagram is one of those things that I'm starting to use a lot more, but I wasn't really focused on Instagram. I was more so on Facebook and other platforms, right? But now I'm starting to get more active on Instagram, not simply just for the purposes of attracting Gen Z, but for the purposes of expanding the demographic reach of who I'm trying to reach. Maybe I might attract a lot more Gen Z people. maybe there's something about me that might be more attractive to them on Instagram as compared to the different demographics that's on Facebook or whatever other social media platform. It says reels equal viral engine. So you know I'm a content creator. If you look at my content, I create tons of reels, whether I'm on camera or it's my AI avatar or these long form videos here, these lives that I share with you guys. I'm able to chop these up into smaller pieces, into reels. So me showing up consistently has given me a arsenal of content. If I come live to you for an hour, over 200 times, and we do reels on average a minute, minute and a half. How many reels can I create out of my hundreds of pieces of content? Think about it. That's thousands, thousands and thousands of possible reels that I can create based on the fact that I've been consistent and I've stayed the course whether anybody showed up or not. It doesn't matter. I have what it takes to stick and stay, and I have the results of sticking and staying, and I have the content to help back me up and keep me going. So I'm made for Instagram. Right now, I could flood the market on Instagram. I could flood the market right now. All it would take is me chopping up all of the videos that I've done, turning them into reels, doing like what it said in that beginning training. You know, my AI business partner, in the beginning, she said, well, she restated my story. She said it was her story. She said that, you know, she went viral, 1.7 million views, but that was my story. She was telling my story. That was based off the information that I shared with my AI business partner about how I went viral on my TikTok with content that I didn't even create myself, but I actually found online. It was Creative Commons. I chopped it up and I shared it, right? So there we go. It says stories equals intimacy plus behind the scenes. So I don't do a lot of behind the scenes type stuff, but maybe that's something that I need to do a lot more of. You know, some more behind the scenes, or maybe that's not something that I need to do more of. Because once again, just like in that beginning training, it talked about you staying in your own lane, doing what's natural to you. But that's why it's on me to be a real business person. And it's on you to be a real business person, a real businessman, businesswoman, to find where you're not as strong in, and for you to partner with people that are strong in that area. So that goes back to the question one more time. Are you more interested in, how much income you can earn? Or are you more interested in, the product and the service? Or are you more interested in the influencer, the person that's doing the presentation, the person that you can possibly partner with, the person that has skills that you might not have? See, you might not want to go live. You might fear going live. You might say, hey, I'll do a video for a minute, but I'm not going past that. But we know that, the success occurs with people that actually do live trainings and webinars, right? We know that's where that first part, where the income is made at. So if you're not willing to do it and you're not attracting or trying to partner with other people that are willing to do it, then how are you going to fill that void? How are you going to actually make what it is that you want to make happen? So when you're looking at me, for example, and you say, hey, I don't, he's not my target audience, or what he's doing doesn't attract me, you got to ask yourself, well, what are you attracted to? Are you not attracted to someone who's consistent, that shows up? If you were running a real business, would you want somebody that doesn't show up to work, that doesn't perform, that, half-ass? Or would you want somebody that shows up consistently? They might not, have the best clothing or whatever, but, when they speak, they speak clearly, they convey the message of the business, they do everything that you need them to do to make sure or ensure that your business runs successfully. But maybe you don't like their hat. Maybe that's how you're looking at people online. You don't like this, that, and the third, the cosmetic things about a person, but you're not paying attention to what's really valuable, right? So there's so many things that we can unpack. So it says here, let's move forward. YouTube, long form, deep dives, podcasts. So right now we're simultaneously streaming to Facebook and YouTube. So this right here, this live is made for YouTube. We've been on for over an hour now. This is long form content. This is somewhat of a deep dive. This is somewhat of what you could consider to be a podcast. We're not interviewing anybody, but a podcast doesn't necessarily always have to be an interview. But this says only generation that still prefers long form video on YouTube. That's interesting. So it's saying here that Gen Z is the only generation that still prefers long form video on YouTube. Wow. Well, that's not too far fetched because once again, let's go up to this story that we was looking at, right? So you gotta find the lesson in everything that you see and do. So Soldier Boy, right? This part right here is valuable right now because it says after streamer you snub. So a streamer is a person that goes live, and they usually don't go just live for a short time. They do long form content. So am I a streamer? Well, I've done over 250 live streams. I might not be playing video games or what you traditionally might call a streamer. I might not be doing so many reaction videos, but I react to articles, right? So am I a streamer? I might fall into that category a little bit, right? So when you're a big name artist, an entrepreneur, and you know, care about what a streamer does or says about you, then that says, hey, that shows that streamers have power. They're valuable, right? So let's keep going. All of the things are tying in. All of the information is tying in. You just have to be able to absorb the information and know how to use it and understand what it is that you're seeing and you're hearing. See, your biggest problem is you see stuff, you hear stuff, and you don't understand what it is that you're seeing or hearing. Even some of the people that's in the highest positions that, get put in charge of certain things, they don't understand a lot of the stuff. I might be considered a low level person. I might walk into a room and because I'm just the fly on the wall, because I'm not the most outspoken person, I'm not the one with the flashiest stuff, I'm not the one with the biggest audience, I might be looked at as, the average person, just like everybody else in the room. Like that too, because I always like being underestimated. It makes me feel a little petty because in my mind I'm like, I ain't gonna say the word, but y'all don't know who I am. Kind of like DMX said, you don't know who I be, and that's a fact. But I'm not the type of person I'm humble to the extent. I'm not the type of person like, yo, you don't know who I am. Like, you know, They okay, but they not me. Like Kendrick said, they not like us. They not like me. So don't ever get it twisted and see me in a room and feel like I'm the average person. Like I'm like everybody else. No. I've never been average in my life. So let me not get petty. Let me not get petty. But as it says here, it says that Gen Z, they love educational content, storytelling, and niche creators. So I'm you know, I'm a edutainment content creator, right? You know, I use that term with you guys a lot. I create edutainment, things that are educational and entertainment filled. So it sounds like I'm more geared towards Gen Z type of audience. So it's understandable if somebody that's not in the Gen Z bracket to kind of look at me and say, well, your content isn't for me, or well, you wouldn't attract me. I promise I'm trying not to be petty, but you know, I remember and I recall just about everything that somebody has said to me. And sometimes I hold on to stuff, and for reasons it always comes back. So when I hear and I replay things in my mind, I'm like, okay, it's understandable why that person said that, because they aren't in that demographic. Like they said, it's not a bad thing. It's a great thing because it helps. Nobody's the same. And if you were creating something for everybody, then you probably would attract nobody. So if everybody just fell into one big bucket, it would be hard to identify who's part of your tribe. If everybody was the same shade of gray, you have to ask yourself who's really the people that vibe with me. It's like something happens and now you don't have that one person at the other end of the room that you can look at and say, hmm, do a little head nod to, and they get the picture. Now everybody in the room looks the same, and you looking around, everybody looking at you looking at everybody, and y'all all do the head nod. Well, that could be a great thing. That's when you are really building your community, your specific tribe. And in that case, you know, if everybody doing the head nod, then that means that nobody's doing the negative action. Nobody's actually starting the drama, right? Everybody's on point. Everybody knows, hey, we here for the same reason, and we're going to conduct ourselves in that manner, right? But if they love educational content and storytelling, that's what we do here. That's what we do here in the Hustleverse. So once again, it's no wonder when I look at my demographics and I look at the people that I have in my private group, there's not a lot of Gen Z. There's basically no Gen Z that's part of the Hustleverse. And when I look at how many people actually consume the content, the most valuable content on in all of online marketing, as I consider it to be, and if they're not consuming it, then maybe it's because they're not Gen Z. They don't resonate with me. Even though I'm not in the age range of Gen Z, I still don't I'm not a I'm not an old dude. And even if I was like 50, 60, 70 years old, I still can't see myself acting like, you know, an old ass 60, 70-year old person. Like, you know, I still feel the same way. My mindset has developed from when I was younger, of course, but I'm not, you know, I'm not too much different from the person that I was in my early 20s. You know, I still laugh at a lot of the same things. I still enjoy a lot of the same things. You know, I'm not the type of person that, you know, you get to a certain age and then you start being like how you saw the old people growing up, and you like, man, why they talk like that? Like, I can't imagine when they were a kid or whatever, did they talk like that? How did they develop into being this dry type of person? No sauce, no swagger, no nothing. I can't see that. I can't. When I look at things, I see myself as being like my dad in his 60s. He's still, he a OG, but he's still the type of person that, he can hang out with somebody in their 20s. He can still do those things because his mindset isn't that of I'm a you know, old person or whatever. Like, it's like he still dresses the part. He still, speaks like, me and him, we can have conversation and he can relate to me, and he can be talking to somebody in their 20s and relate to them too, and have a conversation about various things. Like, and that's how I see myself. I can fit in various pockets in various rooms. But this right here is showing like the demographics of where these people are. Now, we're not going to go through everything, but I will say this. If you're interested, we're going to stop right here because I kept you guys a long time, and I think I said I wasn't going to keep you too long today. But I wanted to just give you something to take action on. I wanted to tell you guys about where you can actually start your journey when you're looking at creating content. You have to not just create content for the sake of creating it, but you have to know, who are you creating your content for? Are you targeting people that's in a certain age demographics and a certain, you know, um, cultural environment, people that represent certain things, people that, have a certain swag about them? Are you Who are you speaking to? Who is your target audience? And then you work your way back. What is it that they like to do? What is it that they like to consume? Where do they like to consume it at? And then you work from there. But if you're interested in, getting access to this complete list, this complete piece of information here, then I want you to comment hustle, and you know, I'll send you the rest of these details, the rest of this stuff here, so that you can look at it and go even deeper. Go even deeper, dive deeper, plug it into, the tools that I've given you access to, right? Because I've given you access. That's why this right here is the most valuable document in all of online marketing. Because one of the tools that you actually get access to right here is my personal GPT. So if you want this information here, I'll send you that information, and you can plug it into my personal GPT and ask it to give you an even deeper breakdown of whichever particular section and how it can help you build your online business. That's how you take information. That's how you find something valuable and you make it more customizable and more valuable for you and your situation. And that's why I feel as though I'm the best person for you to partner with if you decide that you really want to get serious in building an online business. Because I show up, I do the work, I fill the spaces that more than likely you might not want to fill. And this right here is just the tip of the iceberg. I create my own systems, create my own products and services. I share with you how you can do the same, and I do the work. That's the type of person that you should want to be connected with. Not just somebody that points and clicks, not just somebody that shares a post and then they want to kick you off to the next person. Yes, I have business partners that, have been in the industry just as long as I have, or even longer. People that have had successes or other types of successes. If you want to say, hey, financial success is what you're looking for, they might have more of that financial success and can help you with those aspects. But that's not the end all be all. You still have to learn all the other facets of online marketing and the various mindset switches that you need in order to become successful. And some of these people, even though they got a lot of money, they might not be able to teach all of the rest of the stuff. And you need to have the complete picture. So the best way to do that is to partner with the right people. And me, myself, I consider myself to be one of those right people. So with that, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's live. I went a little bit deeper than what I wanted to or expected to, but hopefully the right person has gotten more value out of this live than they've gotten out of, attending 100 lives from somebody else and still having questions like, well, what, uh, yeah, I got it. I understand. And then you still going around in circles because you don't know what to do. Stop playing games, son. Stop playing games. I'm looking for the people that's serious. So I'm gonna stop right there because I'm feeling myself. I'm about to get petty, and I don't want to do that. So with that, let's close out. I want you to take action on this Action Taking Thursday. Comment hustle. Click the link in the description of this video so you can get access to this document. Grab your mega link. Get started. Investing yourself is a minimal investment, one-time investment of just $7 to get started. Start learning the foundational skills. Decide whether or not you're the person to actually be responsible for your life. You're the only person that can be, so you got to make the best decisions. So this right here is one of the best decisions you can make. So with that, hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow in the next live. Hope you have a great rest of your day.
Woke up to silence, dreams still heavy. Phone screen dry, but my vision stays steady. Mama said, baby, that job ain't your lane, but I clocked in anyway, chasing someone else's gain. That got me dancing with denial at night, scrolling for hope, but it's hidden from sight. 10 minutes a day sounded small at first, but in silence even whispers can quench a thirst. Notebook in hand, wrote my future in ink, mapped out my mission before I started to sink. Every post was a prayer, every share had weight. I wasn't selling a link, I was shifting fate. I found my rhythm in the quietest place, where hustle meant healing and grind meant grace. From the corner of doubt, I carved my space. Legacy ain't loud, but it wins the race. 10 minutes a day, brick by brick, built from the bottom, now the vision stick. No hype, no cap, just clarity. This ain't just income, it's legacy. Every click, every song I create etches my name where they can't erase. You can doubt, but you gon' see. 10 minutes a day turned into legacy. People laugh, said she doing too much. To my PayPal pin, then they changed up the touch. No big brand, no six-figure crew, just a mic, some lyrics, and a dream that grew. Tired of waiting for the gatekeeper's call, so I built my own stage, held my own hall. Suno on deck, that's the beat in my chest. GPT spitting like I'm born to impress. Said I'd never make it, cool, noted, but now my bars turn pain into coated. From broken to branded, I ain't asked for fame, I asked for freedom, and I claim my name now. my hustle, berry on loop like healing chance. For the girls who grew up with limited chance. This is more than a challenge, it's breaking the chain. Cause 10 minutes a day rewired my brain. 10 minutes a day, brick by brick, built from the bottom, now the vision stick. No hype, no cap, just clarity. This ain't just income, it's legacy. Every click, every song I create, etches my name where they can't erase. You can doubt, but you gon' see. 10 minutes a day, turned into legacy. Now my daughter sees me different, eyes full of fire. She said, Ma, your words lift me higher. This ain't a hustle, this a heart-led path, where math meets message and message meets math. Community over clicks, value over hype. I ain't here to trend, I'm here to type. Blueprints for the ones still stuck in fear. Let them borrow my belief till their purpose clear. Haters still quiet, but I'm loud with grace. Posting in peace, not a mask on my face. Every bar I drop, every beat I